Sneakers and Stories, a podcast from Pint of Stuff with Mr. B and SJ.
Wow. Like the first intro trailer, I thought that actually sounded pretty good. So I obviously put the trailer up for Sneakers and Stories last week, and I've reached out to a few of you, and hopefully you'll be joining us in the coming weeks on Sneakers and Stories. But I thought it would make sense, given that you or lots of people interact with us on Sneaker Streaming Sundays, lots of people sort of know us on that, lots of people are on Instagram. I thought, though, for the first podcast, Pint of Stuff's first podcast, that we'd kind of spin it on ourselves and we'd kind of do what I'm intending to do for everybody, but with us. So hopefully I've got SJ on the line randomly upstairs in the loft, and I'm going to bring her in now. And so here we go. So hopefully that's worked. So SJ, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
You can hear us. So SJ's like our first guinea pig of the podcast. That's not guinea pig. That sounds bad, doesn't it, SJ?
Yeah, I feel a bit nervous, which is a bit weird.
Why do you feel nervous?
I don't know. It's just weird. This is weird. I'm not sure I like it.
You're not sure you like it?
No.
So obviously SJ's with me on the stream every week, and she has some opinions on shoes. Not bad opinions. She just has opinions.
I just know what I like and what I don't like.
That's fair.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair, SJ. I think everyone knows what they like or should know what they like. I see lots of people who just follow the hype. But I think if you've been following Pint of Stuff for a long time, you'll know that we don't generally. We might get sucked in every now and again, a little bit. It kind of gets me. Does it? But it doesn't get you, really, does it?
No, you tend to get a bit more sucked in than me, and then sometimes some of your choices rub off on me, then I might regret them, which we will talk about.
You regret buying shoes? I can't believe that. How can you regret buying shoes, SJ?
Well, we'll come on to it.
We'll come on to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the format really of Sneakers and Stories, the podcast, and this is a podcast, and we aim to put it out every week. But you can find it on YouTube as well. So this will be going on YouTube, but it'll also be on your favorite podcast platforms as such. I know that we're approved on Apple Podcasts at the moment. We're approved on Spotify. If Acast is your thing, we should be there. I believe we might even be in Deezer, but don't quote me on that. That's probably more for our French friends who are probably Deezer subscribers rather than Spotify, maybe. So yeah, you're going to find us on that. You'll also find us on Instagram and all those kind of places. But SJ, just so that we can get to know you, and maybe you can spin this back on me if you want, which is slightly worrying.
I don't think we've got time for that.
What do you mean we haven't got time for it?
Because once you start talking, you never stop.
I don't know what you mean. I think people who'll end up subscribing to the podcast. I think I don't go on, do I? Do I really go on? Okay,
you're doing it now.
I can't help it. Okay then, SJ. So for one,
yeah.
What's your first sneaker memory?
Oh, I think my first real one was when I was like at primary school.
Yeah.
And I had a few years where I played tennis on a Saturday, and I really wanted like a proper pair of sneakers for that. But for some reason, I ended up with a pair of like Hi-Tec high tops.
What?
Yeah, they were white.
What?
They were white and they had blue on them. And I just remember like the first time I wore them and played tennis, and it was a really hot day. I had the worst blisters on the soles of my feet ever, and I didn't really ever want to wear those sneakers ever again. So that's not even a good memory of sneakers, but that's like my real earliest memory of having a pair of sneakers, being disappointed that one, they were Hi-Tec, and two, that they absolutely ruined my feet.
I, I'm. We should go into some more detail. So how did you end up with Hi-Tec? Like, I can't imagine that you even chose.
Yeah, you got to think. I was in primary school, so
True.
I'm guessing the whole
And
label thing hadn't quite got to me at that point. I don't know. It very rapidly did when I first went to secondary school, that's for sure, and I knew what I wanted. But yeah, it was probably my parents just being cheap.
hey, we all have to start somewhere. And to be fair to sneakers in the UK, they seem to have maintained the same sort of price point really for a long time. And so you can imagine the cost of shoes back then. But
Yeah.
Hi-Tec, like,
Yeah,
and
with
high tops,
Hi-Tec.
were you trying to be like Andre Agassi or something?
Maybe. I mean, obviously, Andre Agassi at a later point was a bit of an idol of mine, and I did want his trainers, which I think I may have had a pair of. Yes, I did have a pair of his trainers the year that he won Wimbledon. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. White Hi-Tec high tops that had blue on them. That's all I remember really. And obviously you talking about the price of stuff. I very vividly remember the price of my first Air Max.
How much?
I remember them being £64, and my mum like having a bit of a wobble at that.
64 like so this
Yeah.
must have been
This
what?
was when I was at. God, I'm going to give like away my age now. But yeah, this is like when I was
Early 90s?
yeah, early 90s.
Early 90s. So
It may have even been. They may have actually been a pair of Amex 90. Thinking about it.
oh, that's interesting because now I've got a little bit of a thing for the Air Max 90.
Yeah.
And you really don't like it anymore, do you?
Well, it's not that I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just find that the materials that they use don't, for me, warrant the price label. And, I've had this conversation with quite a lot of people who, like an Air Max, but they're just fed up with the bad quality. And that's kind of where I am with it. I've got a couple of pairs that the quality isn't great, and I kind of wish I hadn't spent the money I spent on them.
Well, that was actually going to be my I suppose my follow-up question to that. That's obviously the first memory.
Yeah.
I was
have
going to
quite a lot of sneaker memories, actually.
Yeah. So all right. So if you have so that's the first one. I'm going to spin the question ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn it into. So if that's your first, what's your most cherished? I can't really frame it more than that. The most cherished sneaker, or the memory that sticks in your head the most and kind of made it for you. Right. I am into sneakers.
There's two that are actually kind of quite funny.
Okay.
They're both quite early-ish ones as well. One being, again, this is a school one. This is when I was at secondary school. There's this whole thing about what you could and couldn't wear. And as you know, I'm a little bit of a rebel when it comes to people telling me what I can and can't wear.
Yep.
I remember having a pair of black Reebok classic high tops with the two Velcro straps that I used to wear to dance class as well. And I would wear them to secondary school because they were black. They kind of looked vaguely like shoes, so I got away with wearing them.
So first of all, there's a couple of things I need to unpack from that memory. There's a couple of things. First of all, high tops. There seems to be a thing coming through on the high tops, which up until you just mentioning that, I hadn't really twigged that there was a high top thing going on here. And actually, now that I'm thinking about all the shoes that you've got upstairs, yeah, why did I not see that in the first place? But then the second thing that we need to really unpack, Reebok Classics.
Well, when I say Reebok Classics, they were the plain okay, they're not the classics. I don't mean a pair of Reebok classics, but they were just a plain black that had the Reebok sign like the logo on the side, then on the tongue, and then they would just had the high tops with like the two pieces of Velcro. They were quite an in sneaker at the time. Like all the girls I danced with, we all had them, which
Okay.
is again why I wanted them. But yeah, that I would sneakily wear them to school.
You sneakily wear sneakers to school. I can tell you the school I went to, you would not have, like, there was no.
There was nothing at your school.
Well, that's very true. That's very true. There was many military-esque traditions, but that's a whole other story. So so we've gone through Hi-Tec, we've gone through Reebok, we've mentioned a little bit Nike. Was there ever an Adidas moment in those early sneaker memories?
No, there weren't. Throughout high school, I was mainly in Nike and then later into Vans and Converse.
So no Gazelles, no Sambas, no.
I had a pair of Gazelles. I absolutely. This must have been around the Britpop era. I so wanted, because Kate Moss had them, a pair of red Gazelles, and then they like sold out everywhere. And I actually remember that year, I think it was Christmas, getting a pair of black Gazelles, and I absolutely hated them because I never found them comfortable.
Now, did you hate them because they were like not the red Gazelles that you wanted to run around clubs and things and London of the time, or was it that they're just like, because they're flat shoes,
Yeah,
so
they're flat. Like
there's no support.
Said this so many times on stream. Like I find Adidas, particularly retro Adidas sneakers, which I love the design of. I find them really flat, and also there's something about the toe box on them that just did not suit my foot. Again, it kind of made my feet look really long, and I was not. I got them, then I was like, man, I just was never a fan of them. I can't even remember wearing them that often.
That's interesting. So we've done a bit of Nike. We've definitely not done Adidas. You've touched on Vans somewhat there.
Yeah.
Now, and anyone who watches our stream will know that I always pull up Vans just for you to comment on, because you have a bit of a thing for Vans. Now, where did that come about from? Like, how did you? Because I seem to recall at the time it was quite, like, certainly a long time ago in a land far, far away. It was
hard to get them.
It was hard to get them. So how did you discover Vans? Where did you go? Did you go up to that there London?
Yeah. So growing up on the Kent coast, there wasn't really anywhere to buy even Converse back then, way back when. Not if you wanted one star anyway. You could obviously get the All Star and the Chuck Taylors, but if you wanted a one star, back in the day, I actually got mine from Slam City when it used to be in the little bit in Covent Garden.
Was that Neil's Yard?
In the Neil's Yard bit, rather than where it is now. This was like a long time ago, and that's where I picked up Vans. I even remember picking up old Susie, I'm wearing top today, from there, and that was probably when I was like from 15 maybe. I definitely remember going in Slam City with my mum.
Really?
Which you're probably going to find the most hilarious thing in the world.
Yes. Your mum in Slam City, really?
Yeah. And then later when I went to college, I would go to London a lot and just like save lunch money to buy stuff. So Vans have been like, I guess all through college to now, it's been like a staple everyday pair of sneakers, and just all the guys and the people I would hang around with, a lot of them would wear Vans as well.
Interesting. So I suppose I drifted at the time or earlier. Like I was well into airwalk, but it was Etnies that was the shoe. Certainly from the, I don't know, the tail end of the 80s, early 90s, that I just couldn't get. And so whenever I
Yeah.
saw a pair, it was like, ah. And I suppose Vans kind of fell into that category for me, but I just never. I don't know. I just never. They just never did it in the end. And so I kind of moved airwalk, drifted away from sneakers for a while because I couldn't afford them, and then just random Nikes, and then I just started to buy more SBs. But we're talking about you, not me.
I
So
think as well, just the memory thing, and you know this story, but that first pair of my old black Converse one stars that were in that really nice shaggy suede, I had those for years, and I I passed my driving test in them,
yes,
and I wrote stopping distances on those old Converse. How I thought I was gonna like look at my shoe if I got asked them, I do not know. But I think that was they were even written on that pair of sneakers when we've met,
I
or
I think
or you saw it on them for
I
sure.
did. I definitely did. But and I always wondered actually, and I never really asked you, is like, how did you think you were gonna remember
I
or
don't
see
know.
down? But you know, actually, that's all you were doing was writing it down, and so therefore, when you write it down, it sticks in your head.
Maybe. There's like
So
a big 73 on this side, on like the left foot, and I can't remember the number on my right foot, but
73.
I don't even know what it meant.
So if anyone's listening to the podcast or sees this on YouTube, what speed would you have to be going if the stopping distance was 73? Is that feet or meters, SJ, do we think?
I don't know. I never read the highway code, which is why I did this.
Okay, okay. Anyway, this is not a driving test podcast video thing.
Thankfully.
Um, so so we've gone through a little bit of your history. Now I want to ask some like more,
Go on then.
I suppose, just out, well, not out there questions, but just a little bit more. Um, so one of the things that I'm going to be asking lots of people, because a lot of us wear our shoes, and probably we end up with a little bit of regret at times. So, what's the biggest regret you have for wearing a shoe, a sneaker, and turning it into a bit of a beater to the point where you absolutely, yeah, it ends up being destroyed at the end? So, like, we've all got regret like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably got two pairs actually, and one that everybody knows about, and that is the Nike SB deconstructed in bone, deconstructed blazer in bone from what two were they? Was that 2 or 3 years ago now?
I think
I think it may have
it's
been like January 2018. They came out. They came out soon after the Solons,
yep.
the last Friday, the Friday Solons of the previous year. Now I bought those like when they dropped.
Hmm.
Didn't wear them for months, like literally months, because the weather was a bit crap. Then got them out in summer, then just absolutely fell in love with those sneakers. And they are, I mean, they've been all around the world with me, but they're pretty trashed. And I honestly thought I had another pair on order from Nike, and then for whatever reason they said they couldn't deliver them to your works, which just is never the case because there's always somebody there. And then they got returned, and then I've just ever since have not been able to find another pair of my size, and I absolutely love those sneakers. One, because they're a blazer and I love a blazer. Two, they're super comfortable. Three, they go with absolutely everything clothes wise, and they're just a perfect summer sneaker. And yeah, if I can find another pair, which I don't think I will, I would buy another pair.
Yeah,
The
it's. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
The other pair I kind of regret beating so much that never even made it back from California. They got thrown down the trash shoot.
They
I can't
did?
believe I'm saying
Oh
that.
no!
Did.
Which ones is this?
They were a pair of Vans, but they were the Liberty Vans. They were an era, and the print was called Mountain, and it was almost like it was a mountain type print, but it was almost camo like. And I absolutely love those Vans. Again, went great summer sneaker, and they were so trash. They had like a hole in the toe, hole in the sole. Yeah,
That's fairly standard for you. I think it's that's very standard for you. I actually, of your Vans, the ones that I regret I regret that you destroyed was the Nintendo Duck Hunt
yeah,
ones.
they're not totally destroyed.
They are.
They're not. They're not.
Right. Okay. So what we'll do, people, if you've seen this video, is I'll get SJ to bring down onto Sneaker Streaming Sunday one week the actual shoe, the Nintendo Duck Hunt shoe that she had. They were what were they, SJ?
And a dunk cut.
Yeah, but what particular model of that
They're
Nintendo?
just still an authentic.
So they're just an authentic. Now SJ says that they're not destroyed. I'd argue that they definitely are.
They're on their way. They don't have holes in. They're very worn down.
They don't have holes in.
Yeah, I do like those. Yeah.
They're amazing, those shoes. But I would say that they're well on the way. So, while we talk about sort of the biggest regret actually beating a shoe, I suppose then the natural follow on from that would be, what's the biggest regret from shoe buying perspective that you have? Because we all make mistakes and we all buy shoes that we probably shouldn't have done, or that we never wear, and then we pull them out then and go, oh, that's a bit of a not me shoe.
Yeah, I think it's probably the Nike Air Max. We love Nike. They're bright orange. Like, I was going through a bit of an Air Max phase at that point, and had fallen back in love with that shape. And I had a very tanned legs, so I could get away with them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I should never have bought them. I should have sent them back. I don't know why I kept them.
Well, I think we were just waiting for the right moment, the right sort of heat wave in the UK, that right moment. Because I think, I imagine those shoes, if the sun was beating down, they would kind of rock. But you definitely need a tan. I think it needs to be sunny, and I think the shoes are so bright. They are so bright.
They're so bright, and they're just not me anymore. I don't know. I'm actually gonna. I've got a couple of pairs of sneakers that I do regret buying. They're one of them. One is, I talked about this last week, and I do regret buying I always get this around the wrong way. The Element Reacts.
Well, the 87 in the moss.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna look to sell those two because I'm just not gonna wear them. Not going to wear them.
And where do you think you'll sell those? Would it be StockX, Goat, or eBay?
I can't. Well, for one, I don't think it's worth selling them on a site like StockX because I'm not going to get, they're not hype sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I think I'll just, whack them on eBay and just see what happens.
So we've gone through sort of a lot of your sneaker memories. We've seen in particular. We've heard what you're really into. I think and we've heard about your regrets from beating the living daylights out of a shoe. We've heard specifically about the shoes that you regret buying, and in this season of L's. I suppose that leads me on to the next potential question, or at least a conversation starter, which would be, what shoe do you think got away from you? Like, which one of all the shoes over the last few years, and there's many, which is the one which you're kind of like, it still hits you in the gut of going, oh no, why did I miss out on either remembering or just taking the nail because the hype's too big? And I'm sure there's plenty of shoes that are actually doing that at the moment. But is there one over the last couple of years that you look back on now and you think, that's the one?
That's kind of really tough because I'm as you know, I'm quite picky with what I normally want anyway. This year's been super frustrating because it's mid-March and I still haven't been able to buy a pair of sneakers, which is like super frustrating. I think it's quite hard. I mean, I really do wish I had a pair of the New York to Paris. I really, really like those.
Yep, I do. Yeah, they're a lovely shoe. I happen to have that shoe, as you know.
Yeah, and I was kind of gutted, because obviously I was in LA at the time and I saw them everywhere, but they just did not have my size, which was just typical. But I just cannot bring myself to go on to any of the resale sites like StockX, Goats, etc., and just buy a pair. I just can't do it.
You can't do it.
I'd rather just leave it and just be like, nah, I got away.
Yeah. Well,
you've used it.
I've used it a few times. I think for me, like I kind of like just thinking about that. There's many dunks, but it's more when I see the price of dunks going up at the moment. That's the kind of regret that I have. I kind of regret that we didn't get the Atlas, the actual Atlas in-store dunk from Atlas in San Mateo, but I regret getting that or not getting that in. I think it was 2015. So I've got the light grey pair, but I really want the dark pair. Now I actually have some of the things that they put in the box that went with that pair, but I just don't have that pair, and I kind of regret that. So like the thing I think about this is, at the moment, certainly I would say over the last 18 months, Nike SB has been on a bit of a roll, and so I think that there's always going to be another shoe coming, and it really, like, you get well, I get annoyed about it. I get really annoyed about it, and like probably in a mood for about an hour or so, just because it's bloody things. But
I think another thing I regret, and you have some of these. Just we were talking about it the other day. Like, I love the Janoskis that you bought me a couple of years ago. I kind of regret not trying them sooner and having some of those digital floral ones or the digital camo.
I told you at the time.
I know that you picked up, and like the price of those now, even though if I had them, they'd probably be down the trash chute back in California because I would have worn them to death. But yeah, I mean, I do wish I bought some of those, like, what was it, 8 years ago now.
I can't remember when I first got that digi camo. Like, I got the first round.
It may have even been 9 years ago.
So, but I'm sure I picked those up from Decade in Guildford.
Yeah. Which is why I think it was a good 9 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, mine are still in reasonable condition. Like, I couldn't sell them on StockX or anything, but I'm sure I could clean them up and sell them on eBay. In fact, you actually told me what price are they going at?
Yeah, I'm sure they were like £300.
What?
Yeah, which is why I was like, wow, when I saw them, because I was like, that's bonkers for a pair of Janoskis.
For a Janoski?
Yeah.
That's insane. 300. This is what I don't understand. Well, it's supply and demand. It's economics. It's capitalism. It's all of those things. But it does kind of blow my mind. Like the cost, the absolute cost of these things is ridiculous.
I know. It's crazy. And I think, they're like 64 quid.
They are.
You do that.
It's nuts, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, this is like, so just everyone knows, this is, I suppose, the first episode of this podcast, and we will be doing more episodes on a weekly basis. I do have recording time set up with different people, so you'll hear many different voices. I suppose at some point SJ should probably run through some of these questions on me in the future, so you get to know me, and we'll do that. But hopefully you now know a little bit more about SJ's history. We talked a little bit more about this. I did want to just say to everyone, if you want to leave us a rating, that'd be amazing. If you just want to, if you're watching this on YouTube and you go, guys, what are you doing? This isn't normally what you do. Yeah, this is just like we recorded it like a live stream. So what?
What's the? Oh, it just sort of froze for a minute then.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Like, yeah, you did get a little bit of a freeze. Don't forget to leave us a like and comment stuff. If you're listening to this, hello. SJ's just doing big thumbs up, not realizing that this is an audio format rather than necessarily a visual format. So SJ's giving everyone a big thumbs up. Anna will be coming back soon. But SJ, I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
One last question. And it's probably a difficult one.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, of everything that you know is coming out soon, what hype or not hype are you most looking forward to? And can you now? I know that there was one shoe, but I think that there's another one.
There is another one, and who knows whether it's actually going to get released or not, because it is the Bruin for the Tokyo Olympics, the sort of sail bone suede Bruin with the pink swoosh. I see those sneakers becoming my next deconstructed blazer. Strong words there.
What?
So
What? Stop. Really?
Yeah, I mean, I love them, and all the pictures I've seen, they are my sneaker. That's what I want, apart from the Comme des Garçons Dunk, which I don't think's ever going to appear. But, with everything that's going on, it does feel that there is a risk that maybe Tokyo will be cancelled, postponed.
That's true.
So does that mean that sneaker's never going to see the light of day? Or does that mean that sneaker will become like, they'll still release it, but it will just be ridiculously hyped?
I don't know. I know we talked briefly about that this morning, but now, the more I think about it, they have to release it. They have to.
Well, I want, obviously the jumpsuit, the pants, the socks. There's a lot that I want from that collection.
Oh, you're fully branded up.
I'm gonna look like part of the team. But those Bruins are just so nice, and particularly, you had a pair of Bruins on this week, and I was like, you know what? I actually really do like the Bruin.
Yeah, I agree with you. They are like the Bruin is a great shoe.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to make a Bruin for me, that Tokyo one is pretty much.
Yep,
would be kind of the summer sneaker for me,
Okay, everyone. So there you have it. You probably weren't expecting that as the hype shoe that SJ is looking forward to the most,
no,
but I think
probably not.
I think she might have a point. I genuinely do. I think if Nike releases that will be one of those things. If the Tokyo Olympics is cancelled, it'll be one of those random sneaker quiz questions. Which Olympics was this shoe for? And then everyone's like, well, clear. But it never actually was used in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah. So that's enough from us this week. This is the first recording. So, yep. Hopefully these will get better as I become more used to actually speaking on a mic and not just randomly chatting away on the stream or in the studio as normal. SJ will be down with me in this basement for the next one of these interviews or these. Don't think of them as interviews. Think of them as conversations, as thought starters. And it's great to finally get this out the door, SJ. We've finally done it. We've finally recorded it. So everyone, I just want to say thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. SJ, have you got anything to say?
Yeah, no, thanks everyone.
And yeah, we'll be out of here.
Thanks for listening to Sneakers and Stories.